You read the document.
Yes.
And those, that is an official complaint from the Illinois Department of Human Rights. They have launched an investigation into the mayor of Dolton, Thornton Township, and this unnamed trustee. You read the document, you started crying. Why?
That could have been any one of us. That could have been either trustee. That could be anybody. That's somebody's daughter.
Man, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, now this comes out. Now we have a sexual assault allegation where a trustee was on one of those illustrious trips that they was doing that they still don't have the receipts for. They was on one of those trips, and one of the trustees went out to dinner with another trustee, and she said that she felt groggy, and she woke up in the hotel room naked in the bed with one of the other trustees. And she said that she felt, she didn't feel right. And she put the allegations out to the mayor, and the mayor was supposed to do an investigation, and there was no investigation done. She was ultimately put on FMLA, and then she was ultimately let go. Now, this is just, this thing is heating up. This thing is really getting crazy. It's all over the news. Just check this out. Just check this out.
Right to those disturbing allegations against the mayor of Dolton and an unnamed village trustee. We've learned the Illinois Department of Human Rights is investigating complaints of sexual harassment and retaliation. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been poring over the documents in the case, and you're here now with what they reveal. Regina?
Stephen, Marion, a few days ago, NBC5 obtained complaints filed with the Department of Human Rights through a Freedom of Information request. Now, they're filed against Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the Village of Dolton and Thornton Township. A former female employee who was Henyard's assistant alleges retaliation, sexual harassment, and discrimination after she raised concerns about an apparent non-consensual sexual encounter between her and an unnamed village trustee. The Dolton police officer says in a separate complaint filed with the Department of Human Rights that he also faced retaliatory actions for coming forward with what he witnessed. The incident allegedly occurred during an economic development trip to Las Vegas last May. On that trip, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a handful of village representatives, including her former assistant who filed this complaint with the Illinois Department of Human Rights, and 2 village trustees. We're not naming the woman because NBC5 does not name people who possibly were a victim of an unwanted sexual encounter. According to her complaint, the woman says she went to dinner with an unnamed Dolton trustee. The complaint then recounts the following events. After dinner, she says she started to feel disoriented, extremely lightheaded, as if the ground was moving. She says she blacked out. According to the complaint, the next morning, she woke up in the trustee's hotel room with no memory of how she got there, experiencing physical discomfort. She says after returning to Dolton, Officer Byron Miles, who was part of Henyard's security detail and went on the trip to Vegas, told her a trustee on the trip told him that the trustee had unprotected sex with her. Officer Miles has also filed a complaint with the Human Rights Department. The woman states in her complaint that after she was told this, she went immediately to seek medical care. Both complaints then provide details of a meeting which took place the following day with the former assistant, Officer Miles, and Mayor Henyard. At this meeting, the woman informed Henyard that she would never willingly have sex with the trustee. Officer Miles informed Henyard and the woman that the trustee called him that night in Vegas. The trustee, he says, then bragged about the sexual activities he engaged in with the woman, Miles' complaint says, suggesting that she may have not had the ability to consent or did not provide consent. According to the complaint, Officer Miles recorded some of this conversation on his iPhone. According to the complaints, the mayor said that if this information became public, she would be ruined, that all the work she'd done would be lost. The ex-employee says the mayor told her she would take care of it and to trust her. Days later, according to her complaint, the woman was put on unpaid medical leave, though she says she did not request to be put on leave. She was later terminated. In his complaint, Officer Miles alleges that he was demoted to patrol duty, among other retaliation, for coming forward as a witness. They're asking for back pay, front pay, punitive damages, and attorney's fees. In a statement to NBC5, the village says it conducted a thorough investigation into these allegations, led by an independent third-party company. The statement goes on to say former police officer Miles was interviewed and denied knowing anything about these allegations, and the alleged victim refused to cooperate. The statement continues, this is nothing more than two disgruntled village employees trying to make off with taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. The village looks forward to defending these allegations and pursuing all other available remedies to the village. So the attorney who represents both the woman and Officer Miles says Officer Miles is in fact still employed with the Dolton Police Department. He also told us a criminal complaint on behalf of Mayor Henyard's ex-assistant is imminent. Now, coming up at 10, we talked to 3 village trustees about the Department of Human Rights investigation and what happens next. Marion.
Regina, we look forward to that story tonight. Thank you.
So now you have your ex-assistant is now coming out after you. And she's claiming that she was sexually assaulted on a trip to Vegas by one of your trustees. And she's also alleging that you covered this up. You didn't investigate it. You didn't talk about it. You let it go. So now you're on the hook for this. And now it's all over the news. So with everything that's been going on with Tiffany Henyard and all the investigations, the feds closing in, people accusing her of certain things, now we have a sexual assault allegation. And on one of those trips where she still hasn't served any receipts or records to show how that money was spent and why it was spent in that manner. This thing is really getting out of hand. Somebody's going to jail, man. Somebody's really going to jail. And it was, this thing was covered up so bad that, one of the Tammy Brown, one of the trustees, she spoke out to the news about this. Check this out.
To do something as you have done or allegedly have done, and to not speak about it, to cover it up. How could you live with yourself? How? I couldn't live with myself, even knowing that something like that happened, and I didn't say anything about it. Here's a person,
Let me ask you this. Could this young lady said she went to the mayor to try and, explain what happened? The mayor said, I'll take care of this. Don't worry. And then she gets put on FMLA and loses her job. Could something have been done differently by the mayor who she looked up to, this young lady?
Absolutely. She herself should have launched an investigation. An investigation. This happened on your watch. You should have taken action immediately. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a daughter. Do you not feel anything? Absolutely. To do that, you have a daughter. You have an obligation to this village. You are the leader. You are the leader. To let something like that go by and not get involved. You are just as much, oh my God.
So you have Tammy Brown, she's speaking out about it, but you have all the trustees now, everybody, there's blood in the water. And a lot of these trustees wanted this woman out of here, so now they have the smoking gun. Because now there's an SA charge. And there's an unknown woman that worked closely with Tiffany Henyard. So if Tiffany Henyard covered this up, man, this could be possible jail time. But Kiana Belcher, she also took to NBC Chicago to talk. Listen to this.
What do you think about the allegations you just read in those complaints with the Illinois Department of Human Rights?
I'm appalled. I'm literally sitting here shaking because I cannot believe that something like this has taken place. It's disheartening right now, and it's disheartening on so many levels. Regardless of what we're going through in politics, this is somebody's livelihood. This is someone that, oh my God, I'm just appalled. This is a woman. This is a woman that I don't know, what has happened, but just even these allegations and for someone to have the leader that's in our community that always speaks on Black women to cover up something like this is outrageous. I'm furious. I can't believe this. I'm furious. This makes no sense. I'm hurt and I'm furious. That means that these people have known about this for some time. It's almost a year later.
And then we have Brittany Norwood. And we remember Brittany. We remember Kiana Belcher with her highly publicized debates and going back and forth with Tiffany Henyard in those trustees meetings. But there was also Brittany Norwood. She's been on the news a lot lately, talking about the problems in Dolton and the things that's going on. But now with these sexual assault allegations looming, it's getting crazy. It's getting really crazy. So let's check out what Brittany Norwood has to say.
I'm saddened by it, and I think that it's a lot to digest at the moment. Being a woman in this town where, we've been fighting in terms of just for transparency in general. And the biggest fear is always, how far is this going to go before someone gets hurt? And now I feel like this is what it's come to. And
when you say how far is this going to go before someone gets hurt, what does that mean?
In the village, we actually a few weeks ago we set put a resolution in place so that we can ask that the FBI come in and investigate our leadership and our administration, because we know some things aren't right. We just didn't know to what extent.
So now we have the trustee calling a police officer and bragging about the relations that he had with the special assistant. The special assistant is telling the police officer that she felt like she was drugged because she would have never had sex with this person. And somehow, some way, through everything, the administration made this go away. They made this get real quiet. And now it's coming out like a lion roaring. And it's coming back to kick her in the behind. And, she's went on all these shows. She's talked about all the receipts. I want to see how she gets out of this one. Because when this stuff starts hitting the fan, it gets real crazy. Now, this saying that this woman went to the hospital afterwards. She has a police report. She has a medical report. And I hope that she went to the hospital to get her, what's the toxicology or whatever, to make sure, to see if there was any drugs in her system or whatever. Because I know women can lie, but I don't know. I'm not going to accuse her of lying for something like this right now. I had to, until all the facts come out. Right now, I believe her. She said she's alleging that her and the guy went out to dinner. That was it. And she felt groggy and she woke up. All her extremities were sore. So I just, this thing here, and then, Tiffany Henyard being a woman, I don't see how she didn't get on top of that right away. And it said that this will destroy everything that I built, everything that I worked for. Like this stuff is crazy, man. Me having to report this more and more, this foolishness that's coming out. And like I said, now I don't know how long it's going to take before the feds have to go in and just take over, or they have to ramp up the investigation, because now we have people getting physically harmed. Now we have people getting physically harmed. But I'm going to cut this video short here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think on these latest allegations that's happening in Dolton, Illinois, under the leadership, the poor leadership of Tiffany Henyard. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.